The Bitcoin top is in. In this video, that's exactly what I'm going to explore. The simple fact is, Bitcoin creates a repetition of one specific pattern in literally every single cycle, and it's shocking. And this specific pattern that I'm going to show you on today's video justifies that we're likely going to do exactly as what we've done in prior cycles before us. And this scenario, it should be a 10-minute video, so it's pretty simple. There's no need to complicate things. This specific scenario is what I'm basing off my personal investment strategy on. And in this video, I'm going to share exactly what this specific pattern repetition is. I think you're going to find it incredibly interesting. Before we dive into it though, we're running a brand new trading competition on Weeks where we're giving 500 USDT worth in Aster tokens every single day for the next 7 days in 12 hours, which translates into a total of 4,000 USDT in Aster. It's unbelievable. If you want to sign up to this trading competition, all you have to do is click the first link in the description of today's video, where it will say daily, I think it's, what is it, 500 USDT giveaway instead of 100 USDT. So it's 5x the giveaway that we've done on the prior trading competition. You need to click sign up if you don't have a Weeks account yet and create your Weeks account directly from this page, or click the register button if you already have a Weeks account. You can see that the rewards will be pretty amazing. First place, the guy or the girl that has the most amount of trading volume in the 24-hour period will win 200 USDT. Second place will win 100. Third place will win 50. And even if you're not on podium, you're still going to get rewards depending on which place you rank in. So make sure to join. Right now, the first place position has only $27,000 of trading volume, which you can achieve literally by doing a $1,000 position with 10x leverage. That's going to give you 10K in trading volume as soon as you open it. When you close it, you'll get 20,000. And if you do that twice, then you'll be first place. So make sure that you're trading to win all of these awesome prizes. Today's reward will be distributed in 12 hours time. So make sure you're in this trading competition to win your Aster prizes. Going into Bitcoin. So the pattern is pretty simple. It focuses on the bull and bear market support band, and it focuses on 3 months, the month of August, the month of September, and the month of October. In this cycle, pretty recently, you can see that in August, Bitcoin experienced a top at $123,000. In September, we saw a bottoming out, a local bottom, on the bull and bear market support band in the month of September. And in October, we started to see a breakout and us reaching brand new all-time highs. So that's the sort of thing that I want you to remember in your head. When we go to the prior cycle, directly correlated to where we are in terms of Bitcoin seasonality, so post-halving year August, you can see that Bitcoin also experiences a top. In September, you see a bottom on the bull and bear market support band, and then in October, you begin your rally, heading to brand new all-time highs. In the prior cycle, this is not the only instance that this pattern repeats. You can also see it before Bitcoin experiences a gigantic rally from the $12,000 area to the $60,000. You can see that in October, Bitcoin is a top in August. It sees a bottom in September on the bull and bear market support band. In October, it starts rallying to brand new all-time highs. In 2017, in the cycle before that, also directly comparable to the state of Bitcoin in terms of Bitcoin seasonality, post-halving year in 2017, August, you experience a top, right? In September, you see it bottoming out on the bull and bear market support band. And in October, you go to new all-time highs. It's the same thing over and over and over and over again. And people say, directly quoting Benjamin Cohen, everybody says, oh, this cycle is going to be different. And what if we have an extension of the cycle? Okay, that's possible. But, everybody says if everyone's expecting something, it's not going to happen. But I think there's more people expecting the cycle to not repeat than for it to repeat. You understand what I mean? So I think there's a very good chance that we're just going to do exactly what we did in prior cycles. Even in the Genesis cycle, where we don't like to quote it because this was like the very early beginnings of Bitcoin where there wasn't much liquidity, you can notice that in August, you experience a local top. Then Bitcoin drops to the bull and bear market support band, kind of. Okay, so you see that drop in early October instead of September, right? But then post-October, you start going into this massive rally. Look, I didn't want to even bring up the Genesis cycle because it doesn't make sense. But the fact that in a time of very low liquidity, Bitcoin was also able to reproduce almost exactly the pattern that we're talking about now, because this was also like the very beginnings of the bull and bear market support band, right? Because Bitcoin wasn't around for so much time. You see that repetition almost in the Genesis cycle too. So it's pretty insane. What does this mean? Well, it means that from now, I would say until November, so these 2 months, Q4 always historically the best months for Bitcoin, but also historically, Bitcoin tops out in Q4. Bitcoin topped out in Q4 of last year. Bitcoin topped out in the Q4 of the year before. Well, in Q1, almost Q1, right? You just topped out before the end of, or the start of Q1. And then in the Genesis cycle, you also top out in Q4. So in every single cycle, Bitcoin tops out in Q4. And before Q4 ends, we only have essentially less than 3 months, less than 90 days. So according to this theory and according to this pattern repetition, then Bitcoin should top out in Q4. There's no reason for it to not do so. The question mark is at what price point are we going to see Bitcoin top out at? And to be honest with you, it's almost impossible to give an exact specific price point. There are some patterns and models that I'm following which suggest a $135,000 to $150,000 Bitcoin, but it could change. So what I'm doing is I'm just remaining in long positions until we see, this is the 54 simple moving average, until I see the bull and bear market support band collide in with the 54 simple moving average. I'm not exiting anything because historically that marks the beginning of the bear markets. Look, it happened here. This was the start of the bear markets. It happened in, if we remove everything, the drawings, it also happened in the prior cycle where the bull and bear market support band and the 54 simple moving average, they collided, and in the Genesis cycle too. So that point marks the end of the bull market. So far, the 54 simple and the bull and bear market support band are pretty far away from each other. That suggests that Bitcoin still has good momentum left inside it, right? So I'm not going away from positions, I'm still all in, but I will close everything once these two cross into each other. And at what price point is that going to happen? It's very tough to say. So far I'm following the trend, and true technical analysts know that the only thing that we can do is trade the trend, because the trend is your friend until the very end. When I zoom into the very close price action, it would be very nice, again directly quoting from Benjamin Cohen, it would be very nice to see at least 1 or 2 weekly candle closes above this exact wick created in August to confirm that we can reach the 150-ish area. When I go to not the global liquidity, but when I go to liquidity, you can see that there is liquidity piling up towards that 150K range. So if we can see those weekly candle closures, 2 at least I would say, above that prior week, then we should be able to take that liquidity tending towards the $150,000 level. And guys, that's pretty much it. There's no need to overcomplicate things. That is literally my strategy, and that is the pattern that I wanted to share with you on today's video. Before we end this video, I want to just highlight that I'm so bullish on Solana. We should be receiving a Fidelity ETF any day now, and I think $500 is achievable for Solana in this bull market cycle. I'm also quite bullish for Ethereum, but in the short term, I'm noticing a little bit of an issue. So there is a very similar pattern on Ethereum that we had on Bitcoin post FOMC. Look, there's a bearish divergence, right? Bearish divergence. I'm not a fan of it, okay? And it's quite similar if I go to this Bitcoin chart. Bitcoin also has it, by the way. We got that same sort of pattern in FOMC, post FOMC bearish divergence. So if you have any Ethereum, or in the short term, any massive Bitcoin long positions, I would be careful. Macro is super bullish, but in the short term, I wouldn't still be scared of a drop to potentially the CME gap. And in that event, the best thing, in my opinion, to do is have a Bitcoin and Ethereum bot that's going to buy the dip for you if you do see a drop, which I actually think in the short term is very likely going to happen. So I'm going to leave my 2 bots for Bitcoin, which I've already set on Pinex. If you wish to copy them, it will be under the Pinex link down below, and it's going to allow you to automatically copy those bots if you wish to do so, and they will just buy the dip for you, both for Ethereum and for Bitcoin. So even if we do see a drop in the short term, because we're bullish on the macro, it's just going to buy the dip, and then in the macro, it's going to sell, all the way to the upside, all the way to my targets for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. And with that said, that's the end for today's video. I also wanted to share you some of my stories from last night because I was able to watch the F1 Grand Prix in Singapore. It was a fantastic experience. I don't know how I did it, but I managed to get paddock pass for the Singapore Grand Prix, which is almost impossible to get. At least the ticket that I got was impossible. So that's Max Verstappen. It was a very, very, very cool experience. Met the founder of Gate.com, caught up with the CEO of Binance. It was just a fantastic, fantastic experience. Had so much fun. That's Toto Wolff. That's Cryptoman Ran from Crypto Banter right there, right? So it was a fantastic experience. If you guys do enjoy F1, I'm going to be dropping a vlog on this channel, I think in the next 2 weeks, so stay tuned for this. But thank you so much for watching. Take care, guys. And as always, I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.